I'm watching what has happened around this nation as a result of what has happened under the Biden administration and what they allowed to happen purposefully, whether that was rogue prosecutors, defunding police, decriminalizing crime, allowing juveniles to run rampant with no accountability, revolving jailhouse door, no respect for the rule of law. It goes on and on and on. And you're seeing that now playing out in the cities around this country. And what is very terrifying, and I think you would agree, is this is not your Democratic Party of yesteryear, where we might have said they're soft on crime. This is now a Democratic Party who is offering support for and encouraging obstructionist behavior, threats of violence against law enforcement. And as the wife of a law enforcement officer, as someone who's committed my own life as a federal prosecutor, attorney general, now as a U.S. Senator,
Judge.
It is and a judge, thank you. I think I had to demonstrate that a little bit earlier. It is horrifying to me that where we used to talk about differences in policies, where one party was thought to be tough on crime and one party was thought to be soft on crime, we're not talking about the fundamental ideals and structure on which this country was built. And I have been horrified watching the partnership between a governor in Illinois and a mayor in Chicago, and the collaboration, some might say the corruption, and the rhetoric they are using. And I have to say this because I think for somebody like you and somebody like me, it makes you extraordinarily concerned for the success and future of this country. Pritzker, he uses words like, this is an unconstitutional invasion of Illinois, militarized CBP and ICE agents to the street of Chicago to cause violence and chaos in the city. And I quote, Pritzker, people are getting detained, they're getting arrested, US citizens, making it a war zone. Pritzker, it's a war zone, and they are using tear gas and chemical agents at peaceful protesters. Pritzker, they are waging war on our people. Pritzker, we must now start calling this what it is, Trump's invasion.
Before we get into it, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Every time you do, you help us fight back against the suppression of truth and give a voice to common-sense Americans who still believe in law, order, and accountability.
Not to be outdone, though, by Johnson, who says that, and I quote, law enforcement is a sickness. We have a rogue, reckless group of heavily armed mass individuals roaming throughout our city. Johnson, ice lies and people die. Johnson, the Trump administration must end the war on Chicago. Johnson, in the coming weeks, we will use this as an opportunity to build greater resistance. I am wondering if Pritzker and Johnson understand that there are federal laws that criminalize inciting violence against law enforcement and federal agents. I am wondering if they are concerned at all about what their speech is doing and the danger it's putting not only federal agents in, that, by the way, swore an oath to protect other people, but the danger it's putting the citizens of their community in. Anytime you start pitting your own people against their own government, a government is only there at its core to protect rights and the safety of its people, that is incredibly dangerous. And I hear this rhetoric, and I think to myself, every foreign adversary of the United States of America in this country is saying thank you To the governor of Illinois and the mayor of Chicago, thank you for doing their jobs for them, for undermining the strength and safety of this country, and for gaslighting the American people as we are trying to shore up the stability of our communities. And that puts you in such a remarkable, important position right now. You are the top law enforcement official in this country. And you have a responsibility to call out this rhetoric. And when it violates and crosses over from free speech into inciting violence, we have to call that out. We have to remind the American people that we are dealing with the aftermath of millions of undocumented allowed to flood into this country. I know because I litigated it and I fought against it. And when I had to get through litigation documents that showed their plan was to step back and let the border be overrun, when nobody believed that was happening, it was people like us that said, this is happening. They're allowing our country to be overrun. They're allowing, through rogue prosecutors and an undermining and demoralization of law enforcement, for our cities to fall prey to criminals. They are allowing this to happen. And they are doing so, trust me, cheered on by our adversaries. And it takes someone with strength and the ability to take the criticism for 4 hours and 40 minutes and sit here resolute in your commitment to uphold the rule of law. And I know the only reason that you can do that is because what you went through in your prior life, working hand in hand with law enforcement, seeing what their families went through, holding the hands of victims, not letting these people turn our heroes into villains, and certainly not letting these people make the United States of America appear anything other than what it is. It is a country that protects, first and foremost, our people's rights, and we do so by also guaranteeing, with the consent of our government, that we'll focus on their safety. And that is why I was so glad you started out this hearing with my mission is to protect the people and prosecute violent crime, and to make sure the corruption that happened again under the last administration can never happen again. And as you sat here today and you heard the affect of the people whose friends and colleagues, and indeed even members of the judiciary, whose phones were analyzed and traced from grand jury subpoena, and they're just finding out last night, assuring them that you understand what that feels like and that you will not let it happen again, no matter how much they want to disguise accountability as weaponization. Thank you for being you, Pam the prosecutor, Pam the person that cares about this country and its people and the future of America. Thank you for being here today. Would you like to end with any comments?
Thank you, Senator Moody. And you know, they may try to destroy our country, but they won't. They won't be successful, nor will our foreign adversaries, because we have the greatest president in Donald Trump, and he will make America safe again, and he will keep us safe. Thank you, Senator, and thank you for all you do.
And we will keep the record open for a week. I know Senator Whitehouse wanted to offer some comments for the record and any other additional questions, and we'd ask that you respond to those.
I'm sure he did.
Thank you so much. And with that, the hearing is adjourned.
Now, what we just heard in this hearing wasn't just another exchange of political talking points. It was a reminder of how far this country has drifted from its founding principles. The conversation underscored a growing divide between those who still believe in enforcing the law and those who seem to excuse lawlessness in the name of ideology. What stood out most was the acknowledgement that safety is not a privilege. It's a guarantee that every American is entitled to. But in recent years, that guarantee has been quietly eroded. When cities defund police departments, when prosecutors refuse to charge violent offenders, and when leadership excuses chaos as activism, it's the innocent who pay the price. This is not theoretical. It's playing out in real communities where parents are afraid to let their children play outside, and where store owners are closing their doors because crime has become a daily threat. The message was clear: a nation cannot be free if it is not safe. The right to pursue happiness means nothing if citizens are living in fear of being attacked, robbed, or carjacked. Unfortunately, too many Democratic leaders have treated this reality as a political inconvenience rather than a moral responsibility. They have allowed ideology to override duty, and that has consequences. We've seen governors and mayors publicly demonize law enforcement, accusing federal agents of waging war on American cities. That kind of rhetoric doesn't just divide us, it endangers the very people sworn to protect our communities. When leaders use inflammatory language to score political points, they're not standing up for justice, they're undermining it. And make no mistake, that weakness is noticed by America's enemies abroad. When our own leaders pit citizens against their protectors, they're doing the work of our adversaries for them. But there's a deeper issue here, a moral one. The left's obsession with dismantling systems of accountability has turned compassion into chaos. Of course, every American should support fair policing and just courts, but fairness cannot come at the cost of safety. True justice balances empathy with order, and right now that balance is collapsing. Cities that once flourished under strong leadership are now overwhelmed by violence and decline. The Democratic Party of today seems to have lost touch with the basic truth that freedom without responsibility is not freedom at all. It's anarchy dressed up as progress. This hearing served as a powerful reminder that leadership requires courage, the courage to tell the truth, even when it's unpopular, and the courage to defend those who keep us safe. Law enforcement officers are not the villains. They're the reason this country can function at all. And while some on the left seek to vilify them, the American people still understand the value of a badge and the sacrifice it represents. We need a return to strength, not just politically, but culturally. A return to respecting the rule of law, protecting our borders, and holding criminals accountable no matter who they are. It means rejecting policies that excuse violence, punish success, and reward disorder. It means putting America first again, unapologetically. And that's why this moment matters. Because when you look at the state of our country, from the border crisis to the rise in urban crime, one thing is clear: weakness invites chaos, but leadership restores order. The people speaking today aren't just defending political ideals, they're defending the soul of a nation that once knew right from wrong and stood tall in the face of adversity. So if you believe that America is worth protecting, if you still believe in justice, accountability, and the rule of law, then stay engaged. Don't just watch, take part. Share this video, comment your thoughts, and remind others that this country still belongs to we the people. Because no matter how loud the rhetoric gets, the truth remains: America can be safe again. It just takes the will to make it happen.